This is Written Sin's Last Rides Kickstarter edition. This is, of course, Kickstarter Talk, where we talk about Kickstarters. But what's different with this program is we go into depth about Kickstarters that are about to leave the platform and hopefully blast off. We're going to try to make sure that so many of these Kickstarters can make it. And the basic idea here is back them before they're gone. True story. So we're going to go over the list. We have a new place for the list. We've created a new section. We started this last week, and we're going to go into it this week. You guys can see me scrolling up here. So how this works is you go to Kickstarter, you go to Kickstarter Last Rights, or you go to Kickstarter Talk, and you can go there, Kickstarter Last Rights, and Kickstarter Live are all the live Kickstarters. But Kickstarter Last Rights will give you the indication of all the ones about to end. So why don't we get into the ones that are about to end? And of course, supporting the Kickstarter only takes a single dollar. One single dollar can show support, attract attention, help fund projects, support indie creators, and help create new worlds. And if you're looking to make a Kickstarter successful, you're going to need some guidance. And to get the right guidance, go to Kickstart. Go to buy the book on Amazon called Kickstarter for the Independent Creator, the second edition. It is a fantastic book written by the amazing Madeline Holly Rising, who you guys should know by now, who's been on the program a lot in the last few weeks with her Kickstarters, including Boston Metaphysical Society, which we're going to talk about in just seconds. Here are the Kickstarters about to blast off the platform, including for the next basically 10 days. These Kickstarters are about to run out. We're going to go in order from soonest to furthest from blasting off the platform. We have on the show today Ghost Assassins, issue number 1, a supernatural crime suspense comic. I see dead people walking around like regular people. They see me too. They have questions, mainly why I killed them. Great elevator pitch. I love it. Prospects 1 through 2, print run. 2 mad scientists have forgotten 150, have fought a 150-year battle within the town of Ridgeville. A 30-year-old slacker must put a stop to him. Let's see what he's got up his sleeve. Poppy and Poe, too, the new fantastic issue, is packed with fantastic new story by Eric Gagahan and killer cover by Jamie Primack. We're going to see what that goth girl and monkey are up to. This has been a big one for me. You guys know that. This is supporting the Keith Thomasy Legacy Project that I've called it. It's Into the Suck. Keith passed away last year. We're going to have one last time to talk about issue 2. Luckily, we know there's going to be an issue 3 with how issue 2 is trended. So I'm excited to get into this one last time for my boy Keith. Ancient, oh, by the way, the tagline for that is Ursula has found her paycheck, but cashing it in is the real danger. So we're going to get into that in a minute. Ancient Days, issue 2. This is to print copies of the second issue of my 4-part, 8-bit, cel-shaded action fantasy magnet, Ancient Days. It is not me, by the way. That is what the writer wrote. That's his elevator pitch, not me. Boston Metaphysical Society, The Scourge, the Mechanical Men. Gainesville Woods and Tesla are in a race for time to save Boston from a mysterious disease that turns human beings into machines. By Madeline Holly Rising. It's going to be an amazing comic book. We're going to show you why. Brand new to the show and very short run. This is actually debuting and on Kickstarter Last Rights. It's not even going to be on the main show Kickstarter Talk ever. This is a Last Rights type of deal. It's a very short run. Horror mystery adventure. Beatty graphic novel. My horror mystery and adventure graphic novel all are here. Plus 200 pages of exciting free gifts for everyone. We're going to see what that means in just a few seconds. Speaking of seconds, segue. 5 seconds, volume 2. What would you do if you could see 5 seconds into the future? How will Jake use this gift when he meets a girl who can hear his thoughts? Ooh, Jake might be in trouble. We're going to find out. Impossible Tales, the last pit stop, has one more stop, and that's this show, as we're going to help them reach some more fantastic stretch goals. What if Area 51 were, in fact, a convenience store for aliens, now collected for all you swells? So, we're going to head to the Kickstarter platform and go over all these amazing Kickstarters. If you see a Kickstarter, for every Kickstarter you see that you wanted to see, say you wanted to see the 6th in the row, try to fast forward the video to 30 minutes. We're going to try to spend 5 minutes in or out on every Kickstarter. Remember the order and find the Kickstarter you want to hear about. For those of you who stick through the whole program, you guys are awesome. But I understand not every Kickstarter is for everyone, but all these Kickstarters are amazing, so I do suggest you hang out and watch the program. We're going to start this amazing program today with Ghost Assassins, issue number 1, a supernatural crime suspense comic. Buffering.
Ghost Assassin is the story of hitman for hire David, who has the ability to see ghosts. David has no compunction about killing. To him, death is a more natural state than life. Unfortunately, those he has killed do not see it the same way. Ghost Assassin has been previously published, most notably as a 12-page comic titled Prelude back in 2006. However, my strategy back then was a bit flawed. This is an ongoing narrative that has a clear end in sight and should be told that way instead of as a series of one-shots and miniseries. The first issue of Ghost Assassin is completely print ready. Subsequent issues are in various states of development. Issue number 2 needs 13 pages colored, while issue number 3 is fully penciled, but the coloring stage has not yet begun. I am on Kickstarter in an attempt to raise the amount necessary to do an offset run of the first issue of Ghost Assassin. Any surplus raised will go into the completion of issue number 2. We have some great incentives lined up for you, including raw editions of issues number 1 through 3, a metal print, and stretch goals that include a print edition of issue number 2. Thank you very much for taking the time to view the Ghost Assassin Kickstarter. If you would like to see this project succeed but are unable to back, please consider sharing it. Any support you can show is greatly appreciated and will go a long ways towards helping this project reach its funding goal.
So how great was that? What is with the why have hoods become so popular, I wonder, with characters? Not that there's anything wrong with the hood or anything like that, but hoodies themselves seem to be very popular in recent years with characters. And I like a hoodie, don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to judge. I'm just curious at what our fascination has become with hoods. Is it my generation from the 90s who loved hoods that have made it something? I don't know, just something curious. Uh, but this is definitely a weird idea that's kind of, I mean, you're a serial killer. You don't care about killing these people. You're haunted by them. Would they really affect you? It's kind of an interesting premise. You'd be like, yeah, you deserve to die. Or maybe you just like, you were just my next number. Don't think you're special. But to be stuck with them, I wonder if it changes the character. And these are all questions that I have to have answered. And the way I'm going to have these answered, you guessed it, I'm going to back the comic book. So I'm going to get this book and I'm going to check it out. I'm going to see all the amazing things that I can see about it. And I suggest you do too. Now, as we're slowly going, you'll notice that on the right side of your screen, you're seeing some interesting titles. You get Hitman rewards, the Assassin rewards. You get the Contract Killer done for hire. I like that. I like when it gets playful. So, Assassins, you get drawn in as a living human being in an upcoming series of Ghost Assassin. This reward includes free shipping, but I'm afraid you'll be killed. It says living character, but I don't know how long you're going to live. Still, it'd be cool, right? That'd be kind of cool. You could haunt him. Then maybe you become a haunted character. Oh, that'd be so cool. That'd be better than living in the comic book because then you could haunt him. Yeah. So you get cover art. You get the original art cover by Joel Corjar. This reward includes shipping, so it's really badass stuff here. Exciting book that it is. It is so close to funding with 18 hours to go. Now, I'm going to say this because I always say it. If you don't notice me logged in right now or backed it, it's because I'm not signed in. I don't sign in anymore because someone pointed out favoritism. Every so often I'll sign in when I do Kickstarter last rights. This time I'm not. It's not a reflection or anything. It's just trying to build a habit. I did back this project, so I'm very excited about it. So please help get this funded. Let's make sure that we share this now on social media. It only takes a few minutes. It's like the Sixth Sense meets the Hitman. You know what I'm saying? Like it's kind of like that kind of cool, all wrapped into one place, and it's definitely something that we want to be diving into. Come on, Facebook, help us out. We're on a live video here, so come on, Facebook. You can do it. I don't know what's up with Facebook today. Facebook is getting old, getting rickety. Okay, I'm just going to hit post to Facebook there. I guess that's what I needed to do. There we go. All right. Thank you, Facebook. Now, one thing I did forget to do because I was so frustrated how long it took is I didn't get to hit that little button. Hit in a comment before hitting that little button, and that's a problem. You want to make comments to make sure that you're not staying on anyone's shit list. So I definitely suggest it. This is something that's very, very, very interesting. The Ghost Assassin here, the artwork is kind of cool. This is definitely worth sharing. You can see there's some stretch goals, and down here is that incent the breakdown of where's the money going, uh, and that's always cool to have there. Honestly, most of my money goes to printing and shipping, so I don't really ever ask for art costs back. So one thing, it's look at that, for $10 you get the digital Hitman. You get a whole bunch of amazing stuff. You get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 PDFs. Come on, how can you go wrong with that? Back to Ghost Assassin today. Do not let it be something that slips through your finger or vanishes like a ghost. Yeah, I'll do puns all day long. But kidding aside, this is definitely something that's worth at least a PDF. And the PDF is very reasonable. You get a digital download of Ghost Assassin for just $2. Come on. How could you go wrong with a $2 PDF? You can't. Get on it. Back this. Let's see this get funded. Let's see about our prospects for the next Kickstarter. Why, it's prospects, print run 1 through 2. There is nothing here. There is me. There is no video. So we'll take a gander into this and we'll see what's going on. Shall we? So Prospects is a new science fiction comic from writer Max Bajenic and artist Gene Franco. The Kickstarter is for print run of 2 and 1 of the miniseries. The comic is perfect balance of 50 sci-fi, 80 actions, and everyday life. The Kickstarter for Prospects issue 1 was Kickstarter staff pick and funded in just 100 hours. I think, yes, they have funded with 71 hours to go. So this is one of those projects where you're already going to get it. Here's the cover for Prospects 2. You got some cool incentive stuff here. The 4 to 5 star bastard. Not exactly sure why you gotta call someone a bastard. It's kind of mean. But oh, it's comic bastard. Sorry. Just a sec. Self-aware of fiendish creative series. So it's cool. You know, these are just some ratings on it. But I shouldn't be nervous, right? Just zombies, no worries. Nope. Drunks, great. Is that who I think it is? Uh-oh. And you guys get a little bit of a preview here. You get Robo General, I guess. I don't know. I don't see his name, but he looks cool. That's fucked up. Guy's car catches on fire. Some zombies. It's a crazy place to live, man. I thought I grew up in a bad neighborhood. This place is crazy. So here you go. So here's a little bit about the creators themselves. We're going to take a look at some of the reward levels over here. And you can get issue 2 in the kitchen sink. I don't know if I want a kitchen sink. It'd be funny if someone backed that and got mad because they didn't get sent to the kitchen sink, because that's the type of stuff that can happen. In 1 July, you wind up in court with the dumbest thing for that. I hope that doesn't happen. No one do that. Don't back it just to mess with them. Because it does actually say what it is. Prospects 1 through 2. I mean, it gives you a fair value here. Definitely some cool stuff. You can see the art is solid. This is a book 2. Book 2 means they're serious. I know that I saw someone complain the other day about not getting their comics. And I know he's getting my reward because I sent it to him, and I even told him that. But, I mean, it can get a little tough when you're not getting your Kickstarter rewards. But I always say with like an issue number 2, you know someone's being serious because they're showing you that they're back. They've come back. I mean, I'm in an issue number 3. That's commitment. That's commitment for you being on an issue number 3. So please give the Prospects a try today and see if you enjoy it. And remember, the PDF for this, you get these issue 1 PDF, you get issue 2 you get the PDF of issue 2 digital, and you get 1 and 2 right here for $8. So that's the deal. That's what I would suggest if you're new and they've already funded. Because also here's a little insight for you guys. If you're not totally like, I need this comic and I want to give it a try instead, if you get a PDF, it actually, like Kevin said, it's an awesome book. I loved what I read, so that's cool. Kevin's given it, and of course, Kevin is on the upcoming. It's on Kickstarter now. We don't have it on the show tonight, but it's called Kaiju Gods. It's all about like Godzilla monsters and stuff. It's awesome. Check out Kickstarter talk for more about that. But back to the backing a digital comic. See, the cool thing about backing a digital comic that you guys might not know if you haven't seen the show before is that creators at that point generally are able to use whatever you're backing it. You're welcome, Kevin. Whatever you're backing it. So, like this would be $8. That $8 goes completely to capital for printing and shipping and printing more books. And of course, the whole reason Kickstarter is awesome is because we can print more books. And the more books we print, the cheaper everything gets. PDFs help bring the costs down. It's all about investment, and a lot of people I think forget that sometimes that Kickstarter is not a store. So you are investing in a creator, but if you're taking a chance on a creator and you don't want the book, sometimes these PDFs are more profitable for creators. And I hate using the word profitable because profitable is the wrong word, because the money is used to invest into the next book, and this is a limited series. So of course you're going to now get someone who is going to invest into their next book, anything that's left over. That's why I like calling it capital. But everyone understands profit. Profit means that there's no cost to the creator, even though that's not necessarily true because creating a book is expensive as hell. I could go on for an hour about that, but instead, let's see Poppy and Poe, the goth girl and the monkey. So now that's pretty cool. Let's get into some words. And because I think there's another video actually. Let's see. Is there another video? I love goth girls. So, ah, this is like one of my favorite things. I backed it the first day it came out because I thought the first issue had a longer run and I was heartbroken to find out it didn't. So there are no other videos. But check it out. Here's the launch schedule. So issue 3 will be coming out on March 28th. Issue 2 releases February 27th. Of course, it's about to end off Kickstarter, so the release date is that. So there's a remember we were talking about long-term visions and knowing that you can back a creator because they're not going anywhere. Well, this is definitely one of those moments. These creators are going nowhere because they're invested. You can see that they're definitely going to be coming back because there's this long plan. So we're going to forget that there's even a idea that this isn't going to happen. Caesar Lee Crawford is an amazing creator. You can see his creation coming to life. It's interesting. It's quirky. It's new. I really like the art in it. And of course, here's the team for issue number 2. You got Caesar Crawford, who is the story, interior art, and cover. You got Jamie Primack, who's the artist, and Eric Gagahan, who is the writer. So, really, really digging it. Really, really enjoying it. And, I don't know, man. I'm from the 90s. Goth girls were like, awesome. So, I'm a little biased. Plus the monkey. And don't make it dirty. But I love a monkey. I love a good monkey story. And I'm just gonna leave it at that. And you guys can see the pledges. There's also what I thought was really cool in this is that there's oh man, like a subscription service. I forgot which one of these, but you could actually subscribe now to the entire year. It is get all 24 issues, the Ringmaster, variant covers, digital downloads, plus your name as a backer. $100. That's not bad actually, because you're talking about getting all the books. $100, 24 issues, $4 an issue. That's not bad. That's not bad at all, actually. I want to do that, actually. I think I'm gonna, you know what it is? You want to invest in something like that. If you got the money, it's definitely the way to go. But it's like $100, you know. I know what you're thinking, and I'm the same way. I don't have $100. There's some other Kickstarters I want to back. You know, I got my finances. So you go up here and we look at it. And there's a $2 download, digital download. It's not bad. $5 for 1 and 2. That's pretty cool. And then the actual issue number 2, print and digital. I love when it's print and digital because you get the book faster and you don't ever have to read the book. That's what I like doing. I'm going to start doing that in the future, where anyone who buys a physical book is just going to get a digital PDF, and I'm going to just start doing that because then you can hold the physical copies, and I like reading physical copies, so that if I like a book enough, I'll crack it and read it again. But PDFs are also nice if I don't want to ruin it, if it's got like an alt cover. So it's definitely something interesting and incentivizing for me to be behind. We're gonna get a little serious now, but before we go from Poppy and Poe, uh, I just want to give a shout out to the creativity and the fact that Caesar's bringing a lot of creators together in this project. This is eventually going to be an amazing anthology, probably a volume 1 and volume 2. So a lot of credit to Caesar for that, man. This is awesome. Just look at all the different creators they're going to wind up. I know Bradley Golden. I know Frank Nunez. I know Ed Smith, if it's the same Ed Smith. I know Finn. I think I know. Of course, I know Danny. Danny Smith, Boobs creator. So he's bringing together so many new creators, and that's what's so fantastic about this project. You should definitely be part of this project. He asked for a astronomical goal of $1, but somehow he overcame and raised $1, and then he found 1,785 friends for that dollar. So check out Poppy and Poe today. Um, we're gonna watch the video. This is the Keith Thomas. I might get a little choked up talking about this. This is the last time I talk about issue number 2. Let's check out Into the Suck.
The universe of the Suck came about because it's a junkyard in space. So I tried to incorporate all sorts of different things just floating around. My inspiration came from a lot of different sources. So some of the junk you see floating can be anything from some derelict spaceship to ships that I grew up in and liked, to kitchen utensils even are floating in there sometimes. And I wanted to create a stark contrast between the Suck and this royal world. The royal world is anything but a junkyard. It's immaculate. It's decorative. It looks like something that would not be the function of, say, a militia by any means. And I wanted to feel like something almost impractical, like they were more concerned with their look than they were with being this overbearing royalty. Thanks for listening. Please check out the rest of our page. Keith and I, on behalf of everyone involved with this project, thank you for your support.
So those who don't know, a little serious down here. We lost Keith Thomas last year, and I know that one of the things that he wanted to make sure it was done before, because he had been diagnosed with, unfortunately, probably around June, July. He had been diagnosed, maybe a little earlier, maybe May. He had been diagnosed with terminal cancer, and I'd spoken to him a bunch even before that. And one of the things he told me was very important was the fact that he wanted to see that this book went to fruition. He wanted to see the issues come out. He wanted to make sure. And I remember telling him, anything you need from me, I'll do it. And he said, just when it comes out, make sure you do your thing. He's like, make sure you advertise it. You go out there and you tell people about it. He's like, I really want this book to be made. He's like, I'm very proud of this story. And it's always something that's going to be important to me. I want to see this through. And I'll be honest with you, I'm actually I want to see all the issues successfully funded, but on that last issue, I'm gonna feel like I lose him again. Like right now, I kind of feel like I kind of have that connection to him right now, and that he's kind of back now because his words are coming to life again, and it's like he is here again with us, and you know it's going to be hard to read it because I know the creator he is, and I know what we lost, and I know that there is a huge loss to us creatively in this world, and I am I'm a little lost for words, and for me, uh, that doesn't happen very often. I just wanted to thank everyone who backed it and who has shared it, and I've seen it. You guys did great. You guys more than doubled the goal. You ensured there's going to be another book. Thank you so much for that. I do appreciate it seriously from the bottom of my heart. Thank you, because I did ask at the beginning of this. Let's make sure, but we're not done yet. But we can get some more backing out of this, right? If you guys don't know what this is, now's the time to know it. I mean, a beautiful redhead in space, some awesome different ideas. You got some reviews for issue number 1, so it's not just me saying it. And I'll tell you the God's honest truth. Irma, a lot of people who watch these shows know that we were greatly affected by Irma. It's a very bad time period for written sins. We'd been hacked and we had to evacuate, and I was doing things off a laptop and a tablet. It was horrible, to be quite honest. It was a bad experience for us, and I didn't get to say goodbye to my friend. But the last thing that I know that he knows from me was the fact I did a live video. And on that live video, and I'm not lying, you can go to my profile and you can see it. We could only take so much in the car, and I wanted to take things. And one of the things I realized I wanted to take, and I can't tell you why, I don't know why it came to mind. We only knew we were going to evacuate 12 hours before. But one of the things that my wife said was my wife at the time had said, take everything that you know you can't replace. And the first thing I thought about was the first issue, and I now have it locked in a safe. I had gotten it from Keith himself. It was we had met probably a handful of times at New York Comic Con, but this is like one of the first. I think it was the first time we met outside of a panel, and he handed it to me, and I said, "Well, how much?" He's like, "No, you found me." So he put something as a scavenger hunt, and it'll probably be one of the most cherished things I'll ever have because he was just such a warm person to meet, and he was such a cool dude, and I truly miss talking to him. So we used to talk a lot, and not necessarily. And he was one of the great people behind my original idea of Written Sins, and he backed it, and he shared posts, and he was a good friend who listened, and I really appreciate the friendship I had with him, and I hope that you guys realize the awesomeness that was my friend Keith Thomas. And so please, if you like something that's awesome, back this project today, and please share it on your profile. We have 5 days to make the goal go even higher and to show the world that no one has forgotten Keith Thomas. We're going to move on. It's an amazing thing. I can't wait to talk about Into the Suck 3. We're going to talk about Ancient Days issue 2.
What's up again, guys? I go by the pen name of Toby True Story, and I am putting together the second Kickstarter campaign for the second issue of my comic series, Ancient Days. For you newcomers, this is an action fantasy series and based in modern times in like an urban setting. And I drew it in an 8-bit cel-shaded manga style. In the first issue, you got to meet the main character, a as yet to be named red-headed girl in a yellow dress, wielding a giant crimson sword, and she had to go up against a blonde-headed girl named Chloe, who was wielding a golden-like saber. And the readers learn that these swords are mystical swords made by a sword master who is known throughout the region as an urban legend. His name is Jasper Sensei, and he has a sword school, but not anyone can join. He approaches people seemingly out of random and offers them to join his school himself. It's learned that he approaches people who seem like they have an overbearing weakness, and he teaches them the sword to help them overcome those weaknesses. But the story starts off with Jasper Sensei being betrayed, and some of his swords are stolen. The swords that he creates ends up being a part of him, like different aspects of his personality. And with the swords gone, he's kind of reduced to nothing but a lifeless shell. And the main character is going to get those swords back. So this is round two, and the final issue of the Chloe story arc. You'll get to learn more about the reasons behind why Chloe did what she did, and you might even learn a little bit more about our main character, the redhead. So yes, if you like a good action story, like a dialogue-driven sword duel between two characters, and even in the manga kind of style, then this story is definitely for you.
So, I mean, that's a pretty good video. That's a pretty good video. That covers a lot. Gotta give credit, man. That was definitely a informative video, and it's interesting idea. It's different art. I kind of like that. It's kind of a throwback to the 1980s original gaming, where I used to. True story. When I was a kid, I used to write Atari code. I had one of the first Atari computers. One of the first computers. My dad worked on computers. This is back in the early '80s. He worked on computers for a living. He was actually the computer tech guy, and he used to fix computers. And we actually wound up getting an Atari. I think that they gave it to him. So we had this Atari, and back then it was like this keyboard where it had a cartridge insert, and it had a hard drive that was a floppy. And one of the ways that you played video games was you had to write the code in. So you'd get books with codes in it. 'Cause remember, there's no internet, no copy and paste, none of that. So you'd have to sit there and type in the code. And it was funny because when you did codes wrong, there were definitely problems in it. And I remember, like, and I was so dyslexic, and it should have been a thing. I used to fuck the code up all the time. It was horrible. But I remember seeing these little graphics like this come to life, and it was amazing. Just to think how far we've come, that now it's inspired a comic book. That's so cool. I mean, most kids won't know what 8-bit is. They won't know the struggles of coding their own video games. Because now it's not even the same way. Now you use different types of codes too to make video games, but because you use it on top of different programs that you build on. Nothing to do with the comic book, but just definitely cool to see that it's inspired, that kind of world has inspired something even to this date, which I think is awesome. I think Toby True Story's got something here that's cool. He is currently over his goal of $100, so that's not too bad, but he's only got 6 backers. Let's see if we can help build that a little bit more. We already went to Facebook today, right? Everyone saw it. We went to Facebook once. Let's do something different. Instead of Facebook, why don't we do our friend in Twitter? Do Twitter in. Here I go. I'm going to Twitter some shit. I'm going to put my Twitter out. I'm going to tweet the shit out of that. There we go. I've tweeted it. So we have now sent it into the universe, and it is in the fans' hands now. We're going to move on to Boston Metaphysical Society.
Hi, my name is Madeline Holly Rosé, and I'm the writer-creator of the steampunk comic Boston Metaphysical Society. Welcome to our Kickstarter to print the brand new book, The Scourge of the Mechanical Man, a Granville Woods and Nikola Tesla story, with art by the fabulous Gwen Tavares. For those of you who are not familiar with our original series, it's about an ex-Pinkerton detective, a spirit photographer, and a genius scientist who battle supernatural forces in late 1800s Boston. The new story is about how Granville and a disgraced Tesla are forced to work together to combat a new evil that threatens Boston. Now, the story itself is 34 pages long, and it's a standalone continuation of the original series. But the complete book will be 44 pages, perfect bound, and will include extras like a map of Boston and much more. And the best part is that the entire book will be ready to go to the printer before the end of the campaign. And for those of you who are new to the Boston Metaphysical Universe, the trade paperback of the original series will be available as well. So please take a look at the reward tiers on our Kickstarter homepage and pledge today. Thank you in advance for your support.
All right. That looks awesome, doesn't it? In just a minute, I'm going to go over some comments we were making in the chat room while the video was playing. I was talking to Tommy. And we're going to explain what that is. But first, I want to check out these amazing, and this is, remember, she wrote a book about Kickstarter, and she has some of the best rewards. Loving the reward, read the trade but missed the anthology Boston Metaphysical Society Prelude. Here's the opportunity to correct that. This package includes a signed by the creator, Scourge of the Mechanical Man, a PDF of the Metaphysical Society Prelude, a PDF of the Scourge of the Mechanical Man, a brand new BMS bookmark, and that's Boston Metaphysical Society. Includes domestic shipping. That's cool. And your name and the thank you page. That's pretty cool. And you see the outlining of it and the art spread around. And I often think I don't use enough art in my Kickstarters. I just don't like giving things away because I'm one of those guys who sees something and I begin to see things in the story. So I always try to limit what I show to not give away too much of the story. But the art in this is just spectacular. I love the art. I love how many redheads have shown up. Being Irish, that's always kind of cool. And here's the team. You have Madeline, who is the writer creator. You got, I'm going to say Gawain Tavares. He's the artist. Troy Petra is the letterer. The team for the Boston Metaphysical Society. Trade back, that's the thing that goes along with this, was Emily Hugh, Gloria Kalia, Fazar Campatra, and Sean Aldridge. And I know Sean. Sean's a good dude. And what people say, women and people of color take center stage in the Boston Metaphysical Society comic written by Madeline Holling Rising, art by Emily Hugh. Inspired by fantasy and the art of storytelling, Holly Rosing uses her imagination to create fantastic stories that is both well written and fearless. This is by Valerie Complex, that's fan side. And at the comic reviewer down here, we're going to do the very inventive series hosts a totally believable steampunk world that is populated by appealing characters who act and react in believable manners to the extraordinary events that swirl around them. And if you have a taste for intelligent, well-written, elegant, illustrated, award-winning independent book, you can go to Boston Metaphysical Society. That's by Alex Yade of the Good Man Project. So awesome, awesome, awesome book. It has been nominated for the best comic graphic novel, the Geeky Awards. I want a Geeky Award. Someone to nominate me, please. It is a great Kickstarter. I can see why she has such successful Kickstarters. Some amazing higher tier rewards, as a matter of fact. Stuff that you're like, really? You know, and it is a well put together package where, you know, I can't read it for long. I'm going to spend money I don't got. So I always look down here because, you know, I'm a creator. I don't get a lot of money. I don't have a lot of money. Creators don't make a lot of money until we become like, you know, optioned for movies and stuff, where we get picked up by a publisher. Sadly, neither has happened to me yet. I'm just a frog waiting for my princess. So I'm down here in this pledge level where I'm Tesla and the Greenville together. I think that's the one I got. Oh no, I actually think I got the series digital package, because that was pretty cool. 156 pages for 18 cents. I mean, that's ridiculous. That's like a quarter a page, if not less. Oh man, fantastic deal. I'm excited about it. Mechanical Man is 44 pages. I thought my books were long. Definitely proved wrong. Now, before we go on to Gary Scott Beatty, who's an amazingly talented creator, his horror mystery adventure, I just wanted to go over. Tommy had said that he's gonna. I think I'll start doing PDFs, which I responded to him, and this is true. It does help creators, and I do PDFs very often on Kickstarter with the idea specifically of finding these creators at conventions and buying the book. If you impress me with your book when I back you on a Kickstarter and I get that PDF, I'll definitely do it. Some Kickstarters I back a little bit more, and I get something because I know the creator might not be within my reach. Like a lot of my California, like Russell stuff, I'll definitely do that. I'll definitely, because he's in California, he doesn't really make the crossover to the States. So I'm not really going to see him. Same thing with creators who don't necessarily go to cons a lot. I'll maybe get the book from them if I want it. I have a huge indie comics collection, and I don't regret it for a second. But, you know, realistically, we all got to put food on the table, take care of business, and do all the things we got to do. So, you know, backing a creator, every dollar counts. I'm very serious about that. And PDFs do help, and then you could help them make a table when you see them in person, and you could be like, I got this PDF from Kickstarter, and I really want the book. It's really good. And you'll make a creator's day doing that. Trust me, it's happened to me. We're gonna move on to horror, and I don't have a singing voice at all. We're gonna move on to the horror mystery adventure, Beatty's graphic novel, My Horror. We're gonna check it out. Let's go right now. You know, today's Rusev Day, right?
Hi, this is Gary Scott Beatty, thanking you, my Kickstarter friend, with nearly 200 pages of exciting free gifts when you pledge for my horror, mystery, and adventure graphic novels. Wounds is 56 full-color pages of zombie apocalypse madness. Jazz Midnight is 56 pages of cool jazz styling in glorious 50s black and white. Worlds, 3 stories by Gary Scott Beatty collect sci-fi, horror, and mystery in 96 full-color pages. Indie Comics 1, 2, and 3 are 56 pages each of full-color digital anthology. Why get them here? I'm giving away nearly 200 pages of free stuff. 5 full-color horror story downloads. Most are brand new. 3 Azer magazine downloads. And Horror Plus, a horror download bonanza.
Hurry, this quick Kickstarter ends March 1st.
This is absolutely the best way to own my entire catalog of graphic novels. Thank you so much for backing my books on Kickstarter.
So, I want to have whatever energy drink he had to do that. That's energy. That's how you want to do a video. That energy, man. Awesome, awesome, awesome. For those who don't know, Gary actually writes music as well. And in his Kickstarters, we've actually gotten to hear his music. So this dude is like, you almost want to hate him. He's so talented. You know, he doesn't have to leave home to build some amazing stuff. There's jealousy there, like serious jealousy there for the man. But there's also admiration and a lot of respect. I think he's a great guy. He's been doing this a very long time. He's one of the guys who remember back when you had to, there was no kablam. You had to buy the books by the thousands. It was a much harder time back then, and he's one of the guys you can talk about with that. And he's seen the industry change, and he's a great dude. Definitely, I mean, look at all this. This is one of the most amazing setups of a Kickstarter package, and you get this amazing, huge art. That's really cool. It's a short Kickstarter. It's not meant to last a very long. So time is running out. Don't sleep on it. Don't not get it. I've already backed it. Um, it's got a lot. You know, you're gonna. This is like reading a book. This is a lot of information to take. So definitely check out Gary. Great creator. Definitely someone you want to become a fan of. This is 5 Seconds, Volume 2. What would you do if you could see 5 seconds in the future? How will Jake use his gift when he meets a girl who can hear his thoughts? That's an interesting premise. What would you do if you had 5 seconds? This Kickstarter's had a little bit more than that. It's definitely funded, which is very cool. 8 days to go. Uh, Definitely some cool stuff going on here. Still some stretch goals to do, so that's always cool. They got the Wall of Fame, which will be really cool. It's always nice to see Kickstarters who kind of want to throw some love back to the people who brought them there. I actually like the thank you walls. I'm just not in the habit of doing them because of fetish babies. Unfortunately, people kind of get weirded out by that, so it's an issue. Well, not that they're weirded out by the book, but they're weirded out by having their name in it because it's such a well, looked down upon topic still, and we're trying to change that. I like the art though. The art is so cool in this. I like the lettering in this. The way the lettering is done, I think, is really cool. I think it's inventive. It doesn't necessarily follow the rules, the standard rules of comic books, but it does so in a great fashion that kind of reinvents the way to do it. Um, like the mental aspect, I like the way that they kind of phase out with it. Usually, you'll see people who do the mental thing is like thoughts, but thoughts with like a kind of twist on it. In this one, she's just reading minds, which is really cool. Madeline Holling Rising's in our chat room. Madeline, we were just talking about your amazing project, the Boston Metaphysical Society. And you've been the one thing I didn't mention with Madeline, and I'm going to take a minute just to go back and talk about this about Madeline's project. One of the cool things, I can't believe I didn't mention that, and I'm so glad you stopped by so I could remember this, is her PDF package. She's been spending the last few weeks actually throwing a lot of love to different creators and talking about their creations. So she has this PDF pack in it, and what she doesn't do is spend all of her time talking about how you can, get this PDF pack. Instead, she kind of throws love to people about it and talks about creators that she likes and she's spotlighting them. And I thought that was kind of cool of her. While she has her own Kickstarter going on, she's talking about all these other great creators and all the great things that these other creators are doing. And I thought that was really cool of her to do, and I think that's always awesome. And I think that's what's great about indie comics is how often people are giving credit to each other and showing love to each other. And it really does build up an amazing community of creators. And I think that's really cool. And, it goes to show you, and Madeline and me are connected through, we're actually going to be in the same book, even though we never worked together on it. We're both in The Fourth Monkey. So that's kind of cool. So, I mean, it's really cool to see what creators do and how they work with each other. So my hat's off to her with that. And that's so cool that she's doing it. Just specifically, I don't know why I had so much trouble with that word, to show you what I'm talking about. This is, yeah, it is a thank you to those who donated to the comic book to Kickstarter. So for those wondering what I'm going on about, we actually have it, I believe. Do we have one for today? I could have sworn there was one that I added for today. Huh. Yeah, here it is. Okay, Boston Metaphysical Society Spotlight, Kieran Silva, who did Shaman's Destiny. He's also done some other great things. And this was it's completely written not by me. This is written by Madeline Howling Rising, and this is what she wrote. Writer, artist, creator, Sean's Destiny. Writer of Saw, The Lightning Wielder. Kieran's earliest memories are drawing characters. And it goes on, and you guys should definitely check it out. And like I said, all backers who pledge $6 or more receive this bundle. So she's not even using a bundle. And I've done this. I made a bundle where it's my book and everyone else's book, and to try to help drive sales. Madeline looked at it a different way. Instead of making a bundle to help sales, she built a bundle as a thank you to all the people who backed her. And it's an amazing thing. See, when you do something like this, you're kind of building up someone else's audience along with your own. I mean, there are now people who are going to know about Kieran through Madeline Holling, Rosing, and her creation of Boston Metaphysical Society. So that's really awesome. So, and it's not just Kieran. I've been seeing the amount. I'm not sure off the top of my head if Madeline's still here. Madeline, how many creators are actually in that pack? I've known of 5 that I've seen. If I'm not mistaken, it's been 5 so far. Am I wrong about that? Hopefully Madeline is still around to answer that question. But I mean, this is what makes indie comics better than Marvel and DC and all that. It's because we're so supportive of each other. And I don't mean that. There's always bad apples. 6, okay. So I've seen 5, there's 6. There's always bad apples everywhere in the world. But indie comics, the way the creators do these things, you see the good people are. I mean, this also helps get these guys and gals to be in a new audience, and it helps Madeline give something to her backers, and it's a symbiotic relationship with the fans where amazing things are possible, and I really appreciate that. Here we are, and because Madeline stopped by, we're gonna do something cool. We're gonna watch the video again for those who showed up a little late.
Hi,
maybe didn't
my
see
name
it.
is Madeline Holly Rosing, and I'm the writer-creator of the steampunk comic Boston Metaphysical Society. Welcome to our Kickstarter to print the brand new book, The Scourge of the Mechanical Men, a Granville Woods and Nikola Tesla story, with art by the fabulous Gwen Tavares. For those of you who are not familiar with our original series, it's about an ex-Pinkerton detective, a spirit photographer, and a genius scientist who battle supernatural forces in late 1800s Boston. The new story is about how Granville and a disgraced Tesla are forced to work together to combat a new evil that threatens Boston. Now, the story itself is 34 pages long, and it's a standalone continuation of the original series. But the complete book will be 44 pages, perfect bound, and will include extras like a map of Boston and much more. And the best part is that the entire book will be ready to go to the printer before the end of the campaign. And for those of you who are new to the Boston Metaphysical Universe, the trade paperback of the original series will be available as well. So please take a look at the reward tiers on our Kickstarter homepage and pledge today. Thank you in advance for your support.
Thank you, Madeline, for coming on. She said that the package has 6. You backed this amazing project for just, I believe you said it was the basic $6 reward here. You're going to get all 6 different creators. Which 6 you're going to actually have to go to social media and check out, or Written Sins. We've got a couple on our site. You can also ask Madeline, because Madeline's awesome. You guys should get to know her. She made, remember at the beginning of the show, and we'll talk about it at the end, she has that amazing book on Amazon, the Independent Creators Guide to Kickstarter and Crowdfunding. So definitely check that out. We're going to get back into 5 seconds. Oh, wow. Okay, this is breaking. So now you will be getting 12 as we made out our last stretch goal. So that's awesome. Congratulations. A new stretch goal has been reached, and she's burning it up, $8,000. I need to pick her brain because she's doing way better than I am on Kickstarter. I'm gonna have to buy the book and read it. I wanted it to be in audio because I've got Jack, so you can hear in the background. He's playing with cars right now, being a good boy, jumping around and having fun, but doesn't really let me read things. Do you support webcomics? Yes, I absolutely do support webcomics. I think webcomics are awesome. I think anyone creating anything, it's very powerful, and I think webcomics can be definitely something for people to enjoy. So we're going to jump back to 5 seconds, and we're going to the art. Remember, we're talking about the art and the lettering and how cool it was. I'm definitely a huge fan of it. I dig things like this, man. I dig the chances people take with new lettering and all that. And, not necessarily doing it the normal way and different bubbles. And I could always tell you right away who's using the shop bubbles, like the pack of bubbles that people get and just plopping them in there and making their own. And these are definitely look unique to me and different. So I dig it. I always try to make my bubbles a little different purposely because I want them to be unique. Some great characters here. I'm really digging this. I can't wait to read my copy of 5 seconds. And because we broke off, I'm just going to show the video again because we did talk to Madeline. We were lucky enough to have her on the show for a few minutes in our chat room. And whenever a creator comes on, I want to talk about their project with them and ask them questions. We got to know some amazing information about the 12 being it from 6 to 12 now. So we're just going to take a look at this video one more time. How awesome is that? 5 seconds. I could do a lot with 5 seconds. You know what I think I do? I do scratchers, scratch off the barcode and check it real quick. And if it didn't win, I go back 5 seconds and buy the other one, and then never buy one that didn't win. And I think I could be a millionaire within like 5 months. What do you think? 5 seconds. Now, 5 seconds isn't always a lot either, and sometimes you might make a mistake, and I'm sure that comes up in it. And just imagine being able to. I can read body language. So let me tell you, reading body language is bad enough. And sometimes body language can be a little misleading. You have to interpret it a certain way. This poor girl doesn't have anything to interpret. And I'm not even sure that's necessarily true, because don't we sometimes think bad things and we don't really mean them? They're just us working through a moment in life. And imagine not getting that narrative necessarily along with the comments that are made. I wouldn't want to be able to read minds. So it's an interesting team up. Someone who can read minds and someone who can see 5 seconds into the future. And obviously, seeing 5 seconds in the future didn't do all that great for him, because he seems to have some injuries going on in the book. And I don't know the book, so I might be wrong about the injuries. Maybe he's a skateboarder and it's pads or something. But I'm assuming that's a broken arm that he's got going on. So I want to know how that happened. If you could see 5 seconds into the future, see what I'm talking about right here and right there. That's maybe he's got a disability, and hey, disability needs to be talked about. You're listening to someone who's disabled right now, so I'd appreciate that. I'm gonna have to read the book and see what's going on to figure that out. Some great packages you guys can get here. AU is Australia, so I get the about button. Not one of our local, for me, local anyway. Of course, we're our community throughout the world. So I went with PDF on this one, because sometimes shipping can be a little dangerous, because it doesn't show where, but shipping can be up to about $20 from here to Australia. Trust me, I've shipped fetish babies to Australia. We're gonna go on to our last stop, which is Impossible Space Tales, which also has to be the last pit stop. TPB. Dan Noakes, take it away.
Welcome everyone to 21st Century Sand Shark Studios and my latest Kickstarter. This one is for my 12-issue webcomic series, Impossible Space Tales of the Last Pit Stop, to be turned into a collected trade paperback. So your first question is probably, what is Impossible Space Tales of the Last Pit Stop? Well, like I said earlier, it's a 12-issue webcomic series that begs the question, what if Area 51 were in fact a convenience store for aliens? The series is meant to be a love letter / critique of the science fiction genre. Love letter in that it pays homage to what I love about science fiction in the first place, and critique of the more commonly used tropes that tend to repeat themselves in more popular lore. Most commonly, the story is being told from the Chosen One perspective. The Jedi Knights, the ace starfighter pilot, the Galactic Princess. This isn't their story. Space Tales is about the working class stiffs that never have such adventures that seem utterly unimportant in the grand scheme of things. I often tell people to imagine that they're the bathroom attendant at the White House. Sure, you get to meet people that are important and change the world, but those people don't care about your perspective or your opinion. They just want you to hand them the toilet paper and bars of soap. That's the driving force behind Space Tales, and I hope at this point that has you intrigued. Now on to business. What do I hope to accomplish with this Kickstarter? I'm hoping to raise funds to take the already finished 11 issues and the soon-to-be finished 12th issue and turn it into a collected trade paperback. To that effect, that's why I'm here on Kickstarter with this crowdfunder, and I'm beseeching you to become backers for this endeavor. To entice you into doing so, I have a great grab bag of goodies to push you into becoming backers on this creative hootenanny. We have everything from PDF copies to 2 different paper copies. That's 2, count them, 2 different paper copies. Yes, we have a standard edition and a Kickstarter photo variant that will only be available on this crowdfunder, as well as prints, mini prints, stickers, getting yourself drawn in as an alien, and much, much more. We have a pretty modest and reasonable goal of $2,000 to cover printing, shipping, and business costs. But should we surpass that benchmark, we have 7, count them, 7 stretch goals set up to allow us to pad this book with some amazing bonus material. 6 of those goals, count them, 1, 2, 6. 6 of these goals will be adding some pinups from incredible artists such as Chris Flick, Jamar Nicholas, Indy Martin, Tim Shin, Robert Hack, and Drew Moss. The 7th goal will involve the addition of a bonus lost chapter. Yes, the chapter is lost. We found it, and it will be added in since we hit that certain stretch goal. And it will only be available through this crowdfunder and if we hit our stretch goals. So with that, I hope I've convinced you to join this venture to the stars. This is Dan Nook signing off. Good luck, good fortune, and good evening.
So that was kind of badass. I don't know if I could really add more to that. Great pitch, man. Great video. Some cool art to show you real quick, and then we're going to wrap the show up, as we always do, by showing you and reminding you what was on the show today. So, very, very cool. It's an interesting idea. What if Area 51 was a pit stop for all these aliens to just show up, refuel, and then get out of here? I really like that. That's really cool. I dig it. I dig it. It's definitely something you guys should check out. Help them break in some more stretch goals. They're, I believe they're on stretch goal, let's see, 3,000. And you guys can hear Jack in the background being very loud and very playful. Oh, you can hear him in the background. You gotta love kids. 2,300. So the next stretch goal you can help them obtain would be, they got the Chris Flick. They're going to do the Indy Martine, which we will be adding the pinup by Indy Martine of Tortoise and Hair Creations Dissolution to the TPB art. So help them get to these stretch goals. Also, Jammer Nicholas, I think, was done at 3,000. You get more pinups. Basically, the idea, you're going to get some amazing art if you help share this. So share it on social media today and talk about how you want to see what the last stop is of Impossible Tales. That's it for the show today. We're going to check out, like we always do, and we're going to go to our specific place on Kickstarter, Last Rights, and we're going to check out all the Kickstarters on Last Rights. Remember, supporting a Kickstarter only takes a single dollar. $1 can show support, attract attention, help fund projects, support indie creators, help create new worlds. And Kickstarter for the Independent Creators, 2nd edition. We saw Madeline Holling's amazing Kickstarter and how great it was. There's no reason that you won't think that her book can help you raise the money you need for your project today. Check it out. It's now available on Amazon. We saw Ghost Assassins and talked about the assassin who deals with the victims of his murders. We talked about prospects and how a 30-year-old slacker is trying to put an end to it. We talked about Poppy and Poe, the goth girl and monkey. We talked about the amazing legacy project for Keith Thomas, Into the Suck issue 2. It's just burning through Kickstarter. I can't believe it didn't get a Project We Love sticker yet. Just very disappointed on Kickstarter for not appreciating the brilliance of Into the Sun. Ancient Days, we talked about the 4-part 8-bit amazing comic. Boston Metaphysical Society, we had the amazing Madeline Holly Rising show up. We had horror and talk about it, which remember, now 12 comic books. See you later, Tommy. We had Tommy is leaving us for now. Maybe we'll see him back on the news later today. Boston Metaphysical Society has that amazing 12 digital comics. If you back it for $6, you'll get 12 PDFs from 12 different creators. How amazing is that? There's a horror mystery adventure from BD Graphic Novels, My Horror, Mystery, and Adventures. All here, nearly 200 pages of exciting free gifts and for everyone. We saw about 5 Seconds, Volume 2. We learned about what it is to have the ability to see 5 seconds in the future. But meet a woman who can read your mind. And Impossible Tales, The Last Pit Stop, is being put together into a collection for all of us swells. This has been Kickstarter Last Rites, the show that gives you the opportunity to back it before it's gone. But before we go, something brand new has come to our attention. Not something that needs its last rites, but something, if it loads, that should give us the first rites. Try this a different way. We'll airdrop it. Yeah, let's do... There it is. Here it is. It's gonna come, it's gonna come. Yay, it's here. A Nightmare on Egg Street. 1, 2. Freddy's coming for you. So this is, I mean, truth. I am terrified of Freddy Krueger. This is kind of terrifying to even be seeing it. It's actually getting me a little cracked up. Freddy is terrorizing the teenagers on Egg Street in this one-shot, 28-page full color comic. Check out the opening pages and cover here. This is the first time we're seeing this. I haven't seen this. I got this through an email. We're looking at it now together for the first time. This is kind of crazy. You okay, chicken? I'm in. It looks fantastic. I love the art. I love what Swampline does. We're going to be talking about this more and more in the upcoming weeks. This is fantastic. So today's program, we got to leave you with something new. Check it out. It'll be on Written Sins starting today. This has been Kickstarter Talk. If you have a Kickstarter that you want us to cover, just reach out to us at at writtensins@yahoo.com, and we'll have your Kickstarter featured on the show. Thank you for tuning in. I am Mr. Anderson, signing off for Kickstarter Last Rites, and encouraging you to back indie comics on Kickstarter.